Hi, my name is Dr. Andrew White, and I'm the founder of Align & Co. I actually started these companies because of my mom. When I was a kid, my mom was a nurse, and one day when she was at work, she had a throw your back out moment, which then led her to her medical doctor. Her medical doctor took some x-rays. They saw what's called degenerative disc disease, or a disc issue in her lower back. They ended up referring her to an orthopedist, and that orthopedist told her that she was going to need a back surgery to fix the problem. She got the back surgery, obviously hoping to get out of pain, ended up having chronic pain, which is actually pretty common with those surgeries, and that led to the doctors just giving her painkillers or opiates, and she ended up becoming an opiate addict. When I was growing up, I obviously didn't know as a little boy that my mom was a drug addict. I just thought that she would sleep all the time. I can remember I had a little brother and sister, and oftentimes I'd wake up in the morning, I would get them around, watch cartoons with them. My mom would still be sleeping. By the time lunch rolled around, I'd make them mac and cheese, because as a little boy, I didn't really know what else I could make or didn't know how to cook. My mom would still be sleeping through lunchtime, and then sometime mid-afternoon she would wake up, and then she'd be awake for a few hours, often irritable, and then ended up going back to sleep pretty early in the evening. Reflecting back on that experience, the reason why I share that is because the injury that my mom had, I ended up becoming a chiropractor in my practical career as far as my traditional training, and I did largely because of my mom and the injury that she had and the chronic pain that related from it. But it became very frustrating for me as I got older, because I realized that the injury that my mom had, I treat every day, or people like me treat every day. And so it's very frustrating to think about that my mom's life is just defined simply by things she didn't know. She didn't know she had a back issue until she threw her back out, and then she didn't know, even when she did, that there were other options to fix it. And so I realized pretty early on in my career that the opiate crisis was something I was very passionate about and felt called to try and make an impact in. I started originally in my career opening a private practice, had a lot of success with that, still exists to this day. I have some phenomenal providers that work in that clinic still. But I was so frustrated because every single day, or at least every week, I would meet a new patient in our office that would have very similar injuries to my mom, and they would all say the same thing, which was, "I wish I would have met you sooner." Again, that made me start to think again about how I could make a bigger impact in my community and just in the world in general, trying to take this knowledge of understanding what causes a lot of back issues. Because when I was in school, I actually went and lobbied in Washington, D.C. for a while, trying to, again, have a better understanding of how we could try to make an impact on the opiate crisis. Specifically because there's 174 people as of last year in 2021 that were dying every single day of opiate addiction in the U.S. In fact, the leading cause of death in the U.S. for men under the age of 40 last year were opiates. Killed more men than car accidents, murder, disease. In fact, there are some counties in the United States and parts of Florida and West Virginia where the leading cause of death for any gender, any age was opiates. And what's crazy is that if you look at the statistics a little bit deeper, about 111 out of that 174 started taking their opiates because of back issues. Now again, the thing that I think about often is that even in 2021, it's crazy to me that of all the things that I can help a patient with in my office, the most straightforward and the one that I feel the most confident with is back problems. So it's crazy to me that in 2021, there's still that many people in the United States of America who felt like the only solution to their back problems was taking a pill, which ended up killing them. And the reason why, just to circle back and kind of close the loop on why I opened with my mom's story, is because I often think about, again, that my mom's life could have been dramatically altered. She was an incredibly intelligent woman. She was a nurse. If no one else in the United States would have a better understanding of just general health, you would think that someone in the medical field would have a good understanding of it. But again, even individuals like my mom, who are incredibly intelligent, well-educated, working in the medical system itself, still can suffer from this problem and epidemic. And about of the 111 who started taking their opiates because of back problems, just under three-quarters, just over 80 of those individuals every single day trace their back problem to a work-related injury. So the reason why I started these companies was because I started really trying to think about how we can make an impact in this epidemic, and specifically thinking about reverse engineering it. Can we get ahead of these injuries before they happen, or at minimum be the catalyst or intervention for the injury when they occur? And that's really why I started this company. Align IQ is the software that we created that allows us to show the ROI, the return on investment for a business owner, because there are actual dollars and cents that you can track based on different injuries and metrics, and that can justify easily the cost or the spending by making the investment into employee health. Corporate wellness is not a new idea, and in fact, I would argue that corporate wellness from a conceptual standpoint makes a ton of sense, because the biggest barrier to healthcare really in the US is money and time. So if we can subsidize healthcare through the employer and meet someone at work, we can really take away a lot of those barriers. But from the just practical standpoint, corporate wellness, in my opinion, leaves a lot to be desired as of today. And that's because most corporate wellness plans are incredibly generic. They are doing step challenges still, or just sending out generic emails once a month with random pieces of information or healthcare information or trivia, which really does nothing to actually impact the actual health of the individuals. In fact, what ends up happening on most corporate wellness plans is that the employees who are already in pretty good health check the boxes they need to get the incentives or the gamification that was put in place, and then the employees that drastically need it are the ones that end up not engaging typically with these programs. So again, what we try to do is have a much more intentional approach to corporate wellness. And what I mean by that is, again, being incredibly specific, tailoring programs down to the individual in your company, using, again, our software that allows us to do that, and the proven methods that we have to drive engagement to actually, again, make actual impact in the lives of the employees that we're treating. And then again, we track that return on the investment for the business, because as a business owner myself of multiple businesses, I know the importance of making sure that an investment is prudent. Align Well, again, is the service arm of what we do. We contract providers across the country, anywhere in the world. We train them, we vet them, and we have integrators and different team members in our company that are trained to go into your business, look around, do ergonomic consultations, but not only just looking at ergonomics and making assumptions based on what we know of ergonomics, but actually pairing what we know with ergonomics with the actual data that we gather from our software and individual employees, allowing us to go so much deeper and giving much more specific and meaningful advice that can drive, again, the engagement and return on the investment for you, the employer. And again, I'm very passionate about this because I truly believe that, and I've made it my life's mission, that by the time I retire, I've either helped end the opiate crisis or raised leaders who are going to do it after I'm gone. Because again, this epidemic isn't slowing down. If anything, it has sped up in the last few years. And I don't believe that the changes are going to come from the pharmaceutical companies. I don't believe they're going to come from Washington. I believe that they're going to come from grassroots efforts just like this. And by actually getting ahead of these injuries before they ever happen, or again, being the intervention when those injuries do happen. So I would be more than happy to share just more about what we do with you, give you any information or case studies or testimonials or things that would help you to have a better understanding of what we do or to help drive a decision for you. Again, I believe business can be so much more than just a place for someone to come and make money. I believe that businesses exist for something much bigger than that. I believe that God calls us to make an impact in this world, and I believe that business can be a place that can help not only an employee reach financial goals, but also be a place that is safe for the employee, spiritually and mentally, and also can be a place that can help drive the better health within a company. So again, my name is Dr. Andrew White, and I look forward to speaking with you.